everybody, I'm Zee Garcia, and today we're going to be talking top 10 cozy games of the year. These are the games that make you feel nice and cozy and like you want to wrap up in a blanket and enjoy it. That might be because of the theme. It might be because of the mechanisms. It might just feel sort of laid back. It's an easygoing game generally that puts a smile on your face. So here are 10 games that hopefully will do that for you as well. Let's jump right in. My number 10 is Cities. In this game, you are drafting tiles. You are going to be building a little city in front of you. You draft little plastic buildings that go on there. You draft little features like a park or a little water feature that you'll put out on the table in front of you. And you also draft your scoring opportunities. So on your turn, you do one of these things. You build this fairly small board up in front of you, and you score for a few various things. I like that it is so straightforward. I like the pressure points in it are sort of mild. You always have something you want to take, and once you take one scoring opportunity this round, you don't take another one of those. You have to pick one of the other options. Really neat drafting, very straightforward, quick game, and it comes with a few different cities that change the feel of what you're doing just a little bit. It's lovely. It's simple. I wish I had a more exciting title a little bit, but this is a good one if you want a little thinking with your cozy. That's Cities. Number 9 is Creature Caravan, in which you are in a caravan traveling across these lands in Ryan Laukait's world. In it, you are going to be rolling dice, drafting some cards, playing out cards that you can put those dice onto, and then collecting a few different things. Even the scariest thing in this game, which are these sort of ember zombies, aren't very scary whatsoever. They're these little guys. You might find them along the way. They grab onto your caravan, and if you eliminate them, great, and if you don't, then you lose a victory point. But the whole thing has a really nice traversal feel where you're progressing towards the end of this long expedition, building up the things you can do, and it feels great to look down every now and then and realize all these things you have access to that the other players at the table do not. It's a fairly solitary game, so you can really just sort of focus on what you are doing, but it is enjoyable, it is pretty breezy, and it is a lovely game to play. That is Creature Caravan. Number 8 is Charcuterie, the board game. And who doesn't love a good charcuterie board? In this one, you are going to be drafting various meats and cheeses and delicious things and arranging them onto your board, which looks like a charcuterie board. You have things together because you want to satisfy scoring opportunities so that you get everything arranged the way you need it to be, which is very easy, actually. That part of the game is not really challenging whatsoever. I think that's part of what makes the game cozy. You just sort of look out there at what you've got, you grab your sets, and then you arrange as you need. Sometimes you get stuck with things you were hoping not to have. They'll mess up your scoring a little bit. But the best part of the game is, I think, at the end when everybody looks down, they've arranged everything, and everyone's boards look so different. Out come the phones for the pictures. It's a lovely game. It puts you in the mood to have a nice night in, perhaps with some real charcuterie boards, and enjoy yourself and your friends. That is Charcuterie, the board game. Life in Reterra is my number 7, and this one is a post-apocalyptic game, but in the mildest of senses. You are going to be laying down tiles in front of you. You take tiles, play one out. You're building a fairly small grid, and then onto those tiles you place buildings that you'll take from the center. Those buildings will do various different things, but you are basically rebuilding your little town, gathering old relics, trying to get the most victory points. It's a very breezy game, plays very quickly, has a lovely art style, and has a lot of replayability right out of the box. So when you set up the game, every time you set it up, you can choose if you want to sort of set up a cozy set of abilities, no confrontation, fairly simple sort of comfort food type things. Or you can take this game and tweak it so it is a little bit more confrontational, so there is some nastiness. And so right out of the box, it sort of can adjust to the kind of game session you'd like to play. But it is quite simple and, like I said, lovely looking game. That's Life in Reterra. My number 6 is Explorers of Navoria, set in the land of Navoria, a lovely looking place with vibrant characters and fairly simple gameplay. You are going to be drafting, you're going to be taking a couple of tokens out of a bag and keeping one of those things to take a corresponding card. You'll be taking those things, sort of setting up a little tableau area in front of you, gathering tools and assigning them to, a couple of spots. Or for the second half of each round, you are then using the tokens that were taken the first half of the game and moving up on various tracks, claiming special abilities and that sort of thing. The game is clean, it's straightforward. It gives you that feeling of accomplishment you want from a cozy game without feeling demanding in the ask. And so I find it to be lovely. There's always something to do. There's always a little area to go, ooh, okay, I could use that because I can take these components and put them over here and start building that set. But none of those things are particularly challenging or taxing. And so it feels good to inhabit this vibrant, cute world of Explorers of Navoria. Number 5 for me is Fairy Ring. Fairy Ring is a game in which you are going to be playing out mushrooms in front of you, and these lovely fairies, one of which is yours, travel around in a circle from these different flowers, these mushrooms, and they'll even travel in front of the other players of the table. Based on where your fairy lands, you activate some ability. Perhaps you give that player that it landed in front of some victory points, but you'll get some as well if you have a matching type in front of you. If your own fairy lands just in front of you, then only you will reap benefits. And of course, other players will walk around, float around, land on yours, give you little things. The game has a sort of pseudo-cooperative feel where you certainly don't want to help other people, but you will. And you build up this lovely growth in front of you where you will sometimes diversify, have many different mushrooms in front of you, but keep them sort of low and short. Sometimes one or two of them really grow very tall, and they're wonderful. And if anybody lands on there, you reap amazing rewards. The whole thing is very lovely, sort of has a morning dew on the mountains kind of look to it, a very ethereal look to it. And I think it's one that a lot of families are going to enjoy. That is Fairy Ring. Number 4 is a game called Rivage, and this one is sort of a roll and write, but you're passing these cards along. There's no dice. You're going to have your own little board in front of you, which is an island. You've landed on that island, and you are going to be marking off specific regions on that island, traversing it, exploring it, trying to achieve various things. At some point in the game, you are going to perhaps get to the dock on that island and take off and sail away, put that island away, grab a new one from a pile of these laminated sheets and start on a new island. And you'll be scoring victory points for various things you'll be doing in there. The game has a real lovely look. It's so cozy and vibrant and beautiful, and everything sort of looks like bubbly and chubby and adorable. And it's not very demanding. You can choose to stay on these islands really kind of as long as you want to, and sometimes you do want to rush through it and get to a new one. It's sort of up to you. The cadence of the game adapts to you as a player, and it has some nice amount of freedom to it. It really kind of lets you do whatever you want to do. It feels like you are just exploring, maybe, clicking along on a video game and seeing what you reveal, seeing what you find next, choosing what you want to do. So a lovely draft and write kind of game, very simple to play. That is Rivage. A lot of the games I'm talking about today, I'm realizing, have adorable critters, sometimes anthropomorphic critters, but sometimes not. And this is one of the ones that has those lovely critters. This is River Valley Glassworks, and it has these critters panning for glass in the river. You are going to be drafting pieces of glass with different shapes and colors, putting them out in a board in front of you, trying to collect tall columns and having rows of these pieces you are collecting, managing your own pan because you don't want to run out at an inopportune time, collecting and scoring for various things. The game is incredibly straightforward. It's a very short game as well. It scales beautifully. If you play with just 2 players, it's lightning quick, but you can play with more than that. And the whole thing just feels like you are down at the river, sort of grabbing little bits, arranging them. If you are someone who enjoys arranging and cleaning and sort of organizing, if that gives you that sort of cozy feeling, I think you'll get it from this game. It's very straightforward and lighthearted. That is River Valley Glassworks. Number 2 is the smallest of all the games I'm talking about today. It's a very tiny little package like this, and it is called Solstice. It is a 2-player game in which you are going to be grabbing tiles and building, ideally, this mountain in front of you. But there's only one set of tiles that make up the mountain, and you have to split that with the other player across the table. So you won't always get the tiles you want. You are trying to build the biggest connected group you can. You are trying to make sure that the things you are taking match. Again, if you enjoy organizing, if you like things looking neat and pretty, and ooh, that's the tile I was missing to connect these 2 bigger pieces. Yes, that makes me feel good. Then I think this is one you are going to enjoy. The artwork, again, very whimsical. You are going to get these little mountain spirits. If you build a 2x2 group, then a little mountain spirit sort of goes on top of those 4 tiles and gives you some special ability. But it's all generally lighthearted. The whole thing has a real sort of Sunday morning with a cup of tea feel, and I very much enjoy it. This one is almost exclusively a cozy game. Won't really go outside of that, so it's perfect for this kind of thing. That is my number 2, Solstice. And lastly, my number 1 was a critical darling this year, and I think it is very much a game that a lot of people are going to find to be a cozy experience. That is Harmonies. Harmonies, the artwork is going to lead you that way, but also just sort of what you are doing. It has the abstractness of collecting these lovely chunky wooden pieces and building out a forest and mountains, what have you. But the way that they feel, the way that they are illustrated, the achievements you're trying to complete are all engaging, make you sort of put your head down and do your own little thing, but none of it is too taxing, or at least I didn't find it to be, and I think it's one that a lot of people are going to enjoy, and it sounds like have been enjoying doing the little activities that the game requires, adapting, pivoting to a new thing so that you achieve your objectives of building tall trees or big mountains or whatever might be needed. That's Harmonies. And that's the list, everybody. Top 10 cozy games of 2024. Let me know in the comments below which ones I've missed. Let me know which ones you've been enjoying this year as cozy games, those experiences that you've made into cozy moments for yourself. And thank you for watching. My name is Zee Garcia. I'll see you on the next one.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.